いいですよ。
先にごめんなさいね。はい、どうぞ。ちょっとまだうちで飲んでるやつより甘い。
適当にカップにいつもやられちゃうと思うんですけど、おすすめの分量がありますので、結構少なめなんですよ。
Hey, how's it going, patrons? I was just at a Starbucks coffee class. I think probably I already put the video in front of this part of the video. It was pretty fun. It was a special Christmas coffee tasting and a pairing with desserts. It was really fun. The only thing, I wanted to, take a little more video of the people there and the workers and whatnot, but Japan has really strong privacy laws, and because of these privacy laws, if you take a video, you cannot show anyone's face or any kind of identifying information about anyone. So if I was walking, like now I'm sitting in front of the post office here, but if I was walking down the street taking the video and I just happened, behind me you could see a house number or a license plate on a car, I could put the video on YouTube, but in the future, if someone came along and said, hey, you put my house number on there, you put my car number on there, I would really be in trouble. So in Japan, they're really serious about privacy in that respect. However, the government wants to get all your information. They have this big push for a cashless society. It's not cashless in my opinion. They're just basically connecting your credit cards to all these other systems to make you feel like it's cashless, but in the very end, you're still paying with a credit card. But they're also gathering data. What are you buying? Where are you buying? How often do you buy it? And the government has a identity card. They call it My Number in Japan. Even I'm not Japanese, but I have a permanent resident visa, which means I can live in Japan as forever if I want. I have a My Number. And it's like a social security number, I think, in America. And so I have the number, but I don't have the official My Number card. And now they're going to tie this card to some cashless things. And they've had a campaign on TV. If you apply for this card, get the actual card, they'll give you $50 of credit on this cashless system. So I'm married and have 3 kids. So if we do all of this, I can get, 50 times 5, I can get $250 put on this cashless card that I can use. And I think most people who didn't want to do it probably will do it just to get this money, and then they'll be in the system. So when I was in Malaysia, actually, they also had a card like that. I'm trying to think. It was like your... trying to think of the name. It was in Malaysian, and I can't think of how I would translate it. But basically, it was like your national identity card. It was very important for Malaysians to have this. And it also acted like a cashless card. And this was, 7 years ago. 9 years ago, people were using this. You can go... If you had to go somewhere and pay, like you're on a highway and you need to pay a toll, you could just use that card to pay the toll. And there were lots of things you could do with it. So I thought it was pretty good in Malaysia, but I didn't really make the connection that, oh yeah, if you use this now, the government knows, where you're going and what you're doing. And maybe that's just going to be how it goes, whether we like it or not. I don't know. So anyway, the government, when it's convenient for them, they want to know everything about you. But when it comes to, someone taking videos, they don't want you showing someone else's information. So it's kind of a double standard, but hey, it is what it is, right? So I wasn't able to show anybody in Starbucks, none of the workers or anything, making the coffee for us. It was really cool. They gave us 2 different kinds of coffee and a nice dessert. Okay, well, my better half is done at the post office here, so I'd better stop this video. You guys take care. Hey patrons, how's it going? This is Big Lair here, Jack's Private Coffee Corner. Today is December 10th. It's Tuesday. Yay, Tuesday. And it's about 8 a.m. in the morning. It's a little warmer today than it was the last couple of days, which is nice. Let's see what's going on. The 10th of December. I'm trying to think, there was some day here in Japan that's celebrated around this time. Oh, I know. I can't remember this holiday, but my father-in-law was born, oh boy, 1941 on December 11th. December 11th. Yeah, he was born like 4 days after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor back in 41. Man, what were his parents thinking, huh? When they just had a baby boy and then their country, attacks the naval base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii of the Americans. That must have been a strange situation. I can't imagine having kids in a country and then finding out your country attacked, this other more powerful country. And what's going to happen to the future, the future of everyone, right? So I guess every year when this day rolls around, that's one thing I think about. And my father-in-law, he passed away last year in May 28th. So let's see, what else is... Oh, one of the emperor's birthdays was in December, that's right. But he's no longer the emperor. And so now I'm not sure what day will be celebrated for the new emperor's birthday. I don't think I've heard that yet, but probably somewhere it's been in the news, in the newspaper, or the TV, or somewhere in the mass media. I just don't know it. Haven't kept up on it. Before I get into our daily crypto update today, I was, there's a couple, I guess you'd call them forums, that I sometimes participate in, cryptocurrency and woo-woo related. I don't usually say too much. I don't write too much. I'm pretty content just to read what other people write. And to be honest, a lot of the woo-woo stuff, I encountered it, 10, 20, 30 years ago. And now people who are just finding it or realizing certain things, like chemtrails, for example, that was something, almost 20 years ago. I was, I guess you could say, researching that. I was aware of it and trying to find out what it was and why it was going on and whatnot. And so, yeah, when people bring up chemtrails now, for me, it's just like, oh, yeah, that's something, almost 20 years ago I dealt with personally. So I kind of been there, done that type of situation. So it's not really of interest to me. I don't feel any need to talk about it. So anyway, on a couple of these forums, so I'm kind of a lurker, I guess you could say. I don't usually put too much. And the other thing is, and whenever I think about this sort of idea, it reminds me of Buddha for some reason, maybe because Buddha talked about this same thing, is that, if you, on a forum or wherever, could be with your friends, could be with your family members, when you feel like giving someone advice or talking about something, you have to take that person's level of understanding of the world into consideration. So you oftentimes can't just say, this is what I think, or this is what you should do. I mean, we all do it, right? But you also have to step back a little bit and say, what's this person's development as a human being? What's their mental development? What's their psychological development? What do I think will happen if I tell this person this information? Will they listen to it? Will it just go in one ear and out the other? Or will they get upset by it? A lot of people are triggered these days about various things. And I have very close relatives, older than I am, considerably older than I am, and I'm 51. And if I bring up certain topics, oh boy, these people just go crazy, almost like enraged, immediately enraged if you talk about certain things or if you say you have a certain view on something. So, they've been conditioned through the American media. There's just no two ways about it. So before you tell people something, you sometimes have to step back and think about, hey, how is this person going to take it, right? And probably because I've lived in Asia now for over 20 years, that's even been reinforced more just within myself. so anyway, I'm just kind of giving some background on this forum. And I wrote something on there, what was it, yesterday or the day before? People were talking about cryptocurrencies and, oh man, when are they going to go up? You know, hodling all this time, not making any money. And on this particular forum, I don't think anyone knows I have a YouTube channel or a Patreon channel. I normally don't talk about that kind of stuff. Maybe I should, I don't know. You know, a sort of self-promotion or whatever, but I just don't. And but some of the people on this forum possibly know me from YouTube, right? Possibly. So I wrote a reply to this person who was really complaining about, you know, hodling, and not making any money, and money's tight, you know, kind of living. I get the impression a lot of people are living just paycheck to paycheck. So anyway, I posted something and said, hey, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you know, I made a Tezos trade, and it was, you know, I gained this much percent, and oh yeah, so I don't want to sound like a broken record. I've been talking about Tezos for, you know, months on my YouTube channel. I talk about it on my Patreon channel, and it's been one of the best coins for me to actually increase my cryptocurrencies. And so I said, yeah, I recently sold some. I think it was like a 41% gain. And I wasn't writing it to say, hey, look at me, I made some money. Not at all. And I just, you know, wanted to get the message out there that, hey, you just can't keep hodling. If you just keep hodling, you know, you may be left with nothing in the end. Whereas if you strategically, you know, sold and then bought at various times, you'd increase the number of cryptocurrencies you have. So I made this comment. And like I said, I don't normally make comments, but I just felt like, maybe this would be a good comment, you know. And then someone, I don't think it was the original poster, someone said, oh yeah, that's what everyone says. You know, everyone says that, you know, sell at a high time, and of course you're going to make money, da 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 da. And then I realized, oh, I can understand a lot about this person by that comment they made. So then I actually replied to the person, you know, and said, well, I don't just, yeah, you're right. You know, everybody says, sell, you know, buy low, sell high. It's a no-brainer, right? But there's a, you know, there's a strategy there. I'm not just buying low and selling high. I'm actually thinking about how can I increase the number of cryptocurrencies I have. And so I wrote my reply and posted it, and, you know, haven't looked at it since. But it really, really reinforced this idea that most of the people in cryptocurrencies do not have any experience with investing or trading. Nothing. They have no experience. It's just, you know, all these different people from different walks of life. You know, a lot of people who are, what can I say, maybe psychically gifted. You know, they're more sensitive to things that we can't see. I think you know what I'm getting at, right? You know, very sensitive people who are into healing and all kinds of stuff. So those kinds of people generally do not have any investing or trading background. And that makes it really tough for those people, because the people who are buying cryptocurrencies, you know, they have one mindset. Like, this is their mindset. Oh yeah, I've been told by all of these other people that these coins are going to shoot to the moon and I'll be rich, won't have to do anything, and then I'll, you know, have this great life. So they don't have the proper mindset to be doing this, in my opinion. Now, if they could just slowly develop this investor mindset to say, oh, okay, well, you know, if you look at the market, do a little research. I think most people, they'll tell you, oh, I've looked at things, I've done research. But in reality, they've done nothing. They've done absolutely nothing. They're just, you know, reading news stories every day. They're on one of these forums. They're listening to 100 people give coin recommendations. And based on someone, you know, someone on these forums resonates with them. And then they go, yeah, that person's got Ziliqua, or, you know, I'm just using that as an example. I don't really know much about that coin. Yeah, I'm going to get some. Or, oh, red coin. Yeah, I'm going to get some. So they have no plan in place and no exit strategy whatsoever. No exit strategy whatsoever. And I think those people are probably gonna, even if cryptos do go up to dizzying heights, these people are still going to hodl thinking it's going to go higher. It's going to go higher. And that's too bad, but that's just how it is. Now, I think some of you know who, let's see, was it Galileo? No, sorry, not Galileo. Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton. Did you know that when Sir Isaac Newton was alive, that's when that whole tulip bulb, that black tulip bulb mania happened? Have you heard about that before in Europe? People were, just like we do now with the modern stock market, they were buying shares in these companies or farms that supposedly were developing a black tulip bulb, which everyone thought was, I don't know, for whatever reason that's what they were going for. And so even Sir Isaac Newton put a large portion of his wealth into this. So he put this money in, and it increased. It did about a 10x from what I've been able to gather from historical texts. His investment did a 10x. He pulled the money out. He's like, oh man, that was awesome. And then the price went up and went up, and then he was, however many hundreds of years ago was the equivalent of FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. He puts his money back in thinking he's going to 10x it again. What happens? Market, the bottom drops out. Everyone loses everything. Lost everything. Even Sir Isaac Newton. And he wrote about it in one of his diaries, and he said, I'm smart enough to understand the movements of the heavens, which would be the stars, right? And he said, but I was unable to see the movements of men. So he realized this whole thing was built on emotions, and he wasn't able to see that. He was sucked into that. Even him, considered to be one of the smartest guys of his time, got taken for all of his money in a bad investment. So if Sir Isaac Newton wasn't able to get around it, how do you think the average person now is going to get around it? I don't think they're going to, which is pretty sad. Okay, so that's kind of my rant for the day, my digression for the day, is that most people who are in cryptos, they simply don't have the proper mindset, and they approach everything very emotionally. They take advice from people that they probably shouldn't be taking advice from, and they don't do their own research. So that's just the reality of it, right? Okay, let's get into our update here, our daily update. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see, prices on cryptos. Wow, nothing is going on. Everything's down a little bit. We've got 3 coins that are up. If you look at that flesh-colored column, let's see, Veritasium on the bottom is up 2.05%. We got Digibyte up 1.6%. And Theta is almost up 1%. I would think Theta should be up higher. And I'll get to that in a second, but it's not. Okay, now Tezos. Tezos was, taken off on a rocket ride there for a while. It's at $1.56 today. It's down 2.5%, but that's not really a big deal. It lost. Let's see, if you had one Bitcoin today and you bought Tezos, you would get 3.13 more Tezos than you would have yesterday. So that's not a huge difference, not a huge difference at all, even though Tezos price is down 2.5%. Bitcoin's also down 2.44%. Everything is pretty much down 2 to 3%. There's a few coins down in the 1% range, but almost everything in our basket here is down 2 to 3%. Okay, so Tezos, now if you look at the far column, I have a sell mark over there. I forgot to put that in yesterday. Tezos is absolutely at a sell price. Now that's for me, right? That's for me in my situation. Your situation might be different. Tezos reached one of my targets. Oh shoot, I don't have my Tezos sheet up here. Okay, I'm just gonna pull some numbers out of my head. My first target was at about $1.38, I think. $1.38 if I'm not mistaken. And I sold at $1.47. Now my second target I think was $1.50 something. I can't remember exactly because I don't have the spreadsheet in front of me. And last night, I noticed just before I went to bed, Tezos was at $1.62. And looking at this coin price app that I use, it looks like the high yesterday was $1.65. Now, that $1.62, that would be a little more than my target price. So I should have sold some last night. I didn't. I did not. I was really tired last night. I won't get into what I was doing yesterday, but I was kind of busy the whole day. Got home late, had dinner with my kids. Of course, I want to spend time with my 3 kids, see what's going on with them. And I'm not even sure what time it was. Oh, probably close to 11. Yeah, I was putting in the numbers for the market cap. And that was really interesting, but I was just so sleepy. So hopefully my being sleepy and not selling some Tezos at my second target price will not bite me in the butt later on, meaning, if the price drops significantly, I would have been able to buy back even more Tezos. However, one of my rules is don't be greedy. I'm very happy with my 41%. I sold a number of Tezos at $1.47, which gave me a 41% profit. I'm very happy with that. I mean, today the price is up. Someone might say, oh, you should have waited and sold. No. Do not have that mindset of just wait, it'll go higher. Just wait, it'll go higher. Do not have that mindset, okay? If you've got targets, sell on your targets and be happy with it. Be happy with it. Just think, man, I gained 41%. There's no bank in the world that would give me that, right? There are people in the stock market, if you told them you made 41%, let's see, when did I buy Tezos here? I'm trying to think. Well, let's just say I bought it less than a year ago. I can't remember exactly, but a year ago. Let's say I bought it a year ago. A 41% gain on a percentage of your portfolio in a year. People who are in the stock market investing, they're happy to get like, what is it? If they get 8 to 10% annually, they're just jumping around, right? Jumping around happy. When I worked in Malaysia, there were a number of companies. Now I was what was I called officially? Project Development Director. Yeah, I was the Project Development Director of this company. And I was able to meet with people from a lot of other companies. And there were also investors from China. We dealt with a lot of investors from China. And I was at a meeting one time, and they were investing money into this company I worked for. So we had to meet with some of the people in their finance department. And they had kind of a, Q&A session. Any questions? Of course, no one wants to ask. Most Asians, won't ask questions, right? So I raised my hand and I said, well, you're putting this money into our company. What's your expected return on investment? What would you like to get out of this deal? And the guy said, if we can get 5% annually, we'll be very happy. And I sat there kind of shocked, like 5%? You only want 5%? Serious? You're doing all of this for 5%? And I actually said that. And he said, yeah, 5% would be good. He said, we have some investments we only get 3% on. And I said, 3%? I don't know what currencies you're dealing in, but you're not even making up for inflation. You're actually losing money. Oh, no, Mr. Larry. No, that's not how it is, da. And I was thinking, these guys are idiots. You're accepting 3%? And I didn't tell the guy, but at the time, I had some money parked in the Malaysian bank. I was getting 4%. I just put my money in the bank. I didn't do anything. I'm getting 4%. These guys are laying out their money. and it's a lot of work, right? Like you've got an investment company, and now you've got to go and, at least once a month, you're going to to each company you've invested money in. You've got workers, you're spending time making sure everything's right. You're putting out fires here and there. It's not as easy as you would think to invest in companies and hope you get a return. There are a lot of failures, right? And I forget what the failure rate, but the failure rate was about 50%. So, half of the companies these guys invested in failed. They lost all the money. They didn't get it back. And then they're just happy to get, 5 to 8% on the companies that are left. I just thought that was crazy. I was able to get 4% at the bank, and I found out while I was working for the government, which is before this job as project development director, when I worked for the government in Malaysia, if you have a considerable amount of money, you can walk into the bank and say, how much do I have to give you to get 10% interest a year? You can actually do that. And I won't go into the details of how I know that, but I've been in banks. If you're a customer at a bank, they actually have something in Malaysia called private banking, or what's the other name? I'm sure they have this in the States too. It's just that I never had enough money in America growing up as a kid to have this service available to me. But what would you call it? They called it private banking. So basically, when you walk into the bank, you have a different entrance than everybody else. You don't get into the line. You don't go in and deal with the teller and stand in line, or use an ATM machine and stand in line. No. There's a separate entrance. They buzz you in to this separate entrance, and you sit in this beautiful room. They have coffee and juice and water, whatever you want to drink. They have snacks. It's like you're in a hotel lobby, a really nice hotel lobby, and you're assigned one of the workers. That's your personal banker. And then that person basically, you sit there and they just do everything for you. Oh, Mr. Larry, what would you like to have done? Well, I'm thinking of doing this or that. Oh, okay, just wait. They do everything for you, So I was thinking, what are these guys thinking? 5 to 8%? I don't know how much money they have, but they could probably, they could walk into the bank and say, I want 10%. What do you need me to put in the bank? I don't know. Maybe I'm lazy. Maybe I don't understand something. Maybe there's, some information I wasn't given or I'm not aware of. Now, of course, maybe these guys were thinking, well, if we invest in the right company, we're going to get a heck of a lot more than 5 to 8% or the 3%, right? Maybe that was the deal. I don't know. But even huge companies like Toyota, General Motors, I don't know about Ford, but I've extensively studied General Motors, Toyota, Nissan, Volkswagen. All of those companies, you think about like Toyota, or let's pick GM too, Toyota and GM. Think of all the factories they have, all of the dealerships they have, all of the workers they have. Think about all of the impacts on the environment because of their operations. Just think of how much they affect the water and the air and the soil quality for all of their operations. Just think about that, right? And their factories and everything. The fact that they make cars, and when when you're done with your car, you can't use it anymore. It's taken to a junkyard. How tough is it on the environment? All of those operations. Think of that. All of those operations. Do you know what their profit is at the end of the year? Around 10%. It's anywhere from 8% to 11% from what I've studied for these companies. Can you imagine? They've got billions and billions of dollars moving around, tens of thousands of people moving around for their business. For what? For 10%. Just 10%. I don't know, maybe it's me, but it just seems crazy to expend all of that energy and time and ruin the environment just for 10%? Okay. So, another digression, my apologies. Back to our chart here. So looking at these numbers, nothing is really new. Like I said, Tezos is a sell if you've got Tezos. For me, it's a sell. Now, I don't know what you bought it at, right? Maybe you bought it cheaper than I did. I think my average price is $1.05. I'd like to get that to about half, so I need to do some trading and increase my amount of Tezos, right? The recommendations here for buy, let's see, EOS, Cardano. Let's see, EOS, yep, that's still a good buy, I think. Cardano. Let's see, OMG, yes. OMG, wow, 73 cents. Pundi, that's down even more, 0.000152. My God, they're almost giving the thing away. It's a crazy buy. The percent to all-time high, that purple tone color column there, that's over 10,000% again. Okay, Neo Gas, that's a buy. Veritasium, my buy price is $15. I don't have any ammunition to fire off at Veri, but I'm working on it. I hope it stays low. That's a buy price. I thought 15 was good. It's a little more than $2 less than that, although it's showing a little bit of strength. Okay, let's move from here over to our market cap. What do we have here? Okay, looking at this market cap, a couple things jump out at you. If we look at Theta, we can see Theta's daily percent change in market cap. It went up 9.28%. This was as of last night for me. So December 9th around 10:30 at night for me. That's usually around the time that I pull all these numbers out. I try to keep it the same time every day to keep consistency. So the market cap went up 9.28%, but look at that daily percent change in trading volume. Holy moly, Theta's up 140.67%. That looks similar to what we had with Tezos yesterday. Remember, Tezos was up 162.64%? That was nuts. Same thing here with Theta today. That's pretty amazing. But still, if we look at, so even with that increase, that huge increase in daily trading volume, if we look at the yellow column, trading volume as a percentage of market cap, Theta is still only at 4.84% of its market cap. So it's still not huge volume by any means. It's not a Litecoin, it's not an EOS or a Neo. Even OMG is, that's pretty high, the percent. Trading volume as a percent of market cap. Theta is really tiny compared to that. It had a huge increase. And what did it do to the price? It didn't really do anything to the price. It maintained the price basically, right? It's almost 1% up in price. So all of that trading, wow. So something was going on with Theta. That's a huge amount of trading volume. Was someone trying to keep it down? I think they were. Let's see, yeah, OMG, that had some pretty big trading volume, almost 40%, right? 39.36%. Let's see, the worst out of all these was Veritasium. It had a 31.51% decrease in trading volume, and the market cap cap's only down 1.43%. However, look at the daily trading volume. My God, it's $4,414. That's peanuts compared to the rest of these things, right? Jesus. Hey, that price, $4,414, that's the same price as that puppy I showed you guys on yesterday's video. That puppy is exactly that price. Wow, for the price of a French Bulldog puppy, we could handle the daily trading volume for Veritasium. That is wild. Okay, looking at the other numbers here, some of the trading volumes are up. Everything is up. Neo's down, Pundi X is down, Neo Gas is down. We talked about Veritasium. Everything else is up though, which is good. Let's see, and if you look at the trading volume as a percent of market cap, this yellow column, we can see we've got 5 coins that are highlighted in bold text there. 4 of those have really good, pretty high percentages, right? Close to 40% and up. And on the very bottom, veritasium, that's highlighted because it's so low. It's so incredibly low. And of course, when we have high trading volume, that means high liquidity. High liquidity means it's very easy for investors to get in and get out, to buy and sell the coin, which is something that, professional investors look for. That's one of the things with these altcoins. Some of these altcoins, and maybe veritasium suffers from this. Professional investors are going to look at this sort of metric and say, wow, why would I get into veritasium, The trading volume as a percent of market cap is so low. Someone coming in with $8,000 could, double the market cap, could really swing things. I don't want to, that's too volatile. They want something that's stable with high liquidity. You want a Litecoin, a EOS, a NEO, an OMG. Those are very attractive. Even Ethereum at 31.84%. Those are very attractive for people. Interestingly enough, the most popular, well-known cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, its trading volume as a percent of market cap is still only 9.19%. And yet it enjoys this, it enjoys being number one. So if you think about that, only 10% is being traded, 90% is being hodled. Or it's being traded over the counter and it doesn't show up in these kinds of numbers. Maybe that's part of it too. But I would imagine a lot of people are just hodling the heck out of their Bitcoin if they've got a bunch of it. Okay, everybody, that's all I got today for the daily crypto update. It's December 10th. It's Tuesday here in Japan. It's it's getting closer to 9 o'clock now. So I'd better wrap this up and get my video uploaded. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day.